After what feels like years of controversy, Disney's Snow White is finally out, and I tried my best to be fair to this movie. So I took a box and put all the controversies in there. Rachel Zeigler's mouth, the dwarves, put it in a box and set it aside, and just try to watch this movie for what it is. So strap in, hit the like button, and let's get into it. It takes the 1937 classic and tries to modernize it. Now, by doing so, did they manage to make a better movie? No. Did they manage to make a bad movie? No. They just made a different movie. It's not the worst remake, and it's easily not the best either. It's very in the middle. I am willing to say it's almost forgettable. The thing with remakes is that what determines how much you like from the remake coincides with what you expect from the remake. Do you want to see specific scenes done in live action? Do you want to see certain songs performed in giant musical numbers? Maybe there's something that you hated from the original source material that you wish it was changed. All of that matters, and especially with Disney remakes, because the classics hold a special place in everybody's heart for different reasons. When you start to mess with that, that creates the biggest issue with these Disney remakes. Because we all want something different out of it. And of course, you can't please everybody. And from the jump, they always do the opposite by managing to make a decision that somehow offends or piss off a giant chunk of the internet, start hitting on the movie before it even comes out. That's why we end with results with how most likely this movie is going to end up. And I don't think is as bad as I expected this movie to be going in. What I want from Disney remakes is for it to be faithful. I basically just want them to copy and paste. And does this movie do that for the most part? No. It does it in some parts, and it picks and chooses when to do those things, and then they move them around in different parts of the movie to serve this specific story that they're telling. They added an extra songs by Benj Pasek, which thank you that they didn't hire Lin-Manuel Miranda. I've said in a past review, I am not a fan of his. I think all of his songs sound the same. This felt more theatrical. This felt more Broadway. This felt more in par with this specific character and this world that Disney built for this specific movie. Are they all hitters? No. Some of them are very forgettable. I actually don't remember many of them. I probably remember 3 out of, all of the new ones. The ones that came out humming were the ones I already knew, right? Whistle While You Work, the other one, and the other one that they cut short that I actually like the most. But what they did was add a little bit more lyrics. They added a little bit more to the original song, so they ended up changing them a bit from a lyrical standpoint, and I actually didn't mind it. I thought it was like the first time I heard a different word because I saw the original movie last night, so this is very fresh in my brain. When I heard a different lyric or something said differently, I was like, hey, what are you doing? But as the song was going, I was like, okay. The changes and the additions to the classical songs, I didn't mind. I could see purists hating that, but I thought it was pretty cool. Another big addition were these bandits. Now, I don't know, because there's so much that's been going on with this movie, I don't know if these were supposed to be the original dwarves in the movie, and they were just going to replace the dwarves, and they reshot it and rewrote it. I'm not sure if that's what happened, but the purpose in this movie is to introduce the love interest. This time around, it's not a prince, it's this leader of the bandit guy. I don't know why. I guess princes are bad. I didn't get the memo. I didn't know. They fight in the name of the king, who's obviously Snow White's dad, who plays a bigger part in the story this time around. At least his presence does. So I understand their introduction. Wasn't thrilled about them. It did take me a second. I was like, wait, who are you? Especially if they were going to replace the dwarves as a whole. I wasn't a part of that. I mean, they went as far as removing the dwarves from the title. And again, I don't know if this was because we got internet backlash or what, but we got dwarves. I feel like most people about the dwarfs, they're kind of creepy and kind of unsettling and a little bit of scary. There's just something off about them. I wasn't a fan of their design. They're all a couple Ozempic shots away from being elves from Polar Express. I think their design is bad, not only because they're creepy and a little bit ugly, but outside of Grumpy, Doc, and Dopey, I don't know who the rest of them are. Like, I know who they're supposed to be, but if I look at them, I'm not sure who is who. And they simply weren't as silly or as funny as I would want them to be. They do take a little bit more of a back seat in this movie compared to the original. And they fundamentally changed one of them. You could probably guess who. I'm not going to spoil. And I really did not like that because it didn't serve any purpose. It just felt like they changed it just to change it. I wasn't a fan of that. That really didn't sit well with me. I really did not like that decision. Most of the main events of the original movie happen in this movie. They're just a little bit different or out of order. For example, Whistle While You Work, instead of Snow cleaning the house with a bunch of animals, this time around, it's like the next day and the dwarves are actually cleaning along with her. So there's a bunch of tweaks like that throughout the movie, plus brand new stuff, bringing in the bandits and including them in old stuff as well. I thought visually outside of the dwarves, it looks great. The animals are cute as hell. The environments, when they had to be different, it looked totally different. It looked really pretty. The movie doesn't just look the same throughout. The costumes were good, although I never understood this even in the original. Like, why is she wearing that blue and yellow iconic dress? Isn't she a maid? Like, how is she able to own something like that? I never understood that. Is this her day off or something? So she just gets to dress up because she's still the princess, but she's made into a maid by the evil queen. So why is she all glamorous? If you can answer that question for me, I really, really, really need to know. The queen in her lair and the mirror, all that visually, again, it looked good. Now, as far as Miss Zeigler goes, I understand why she was cast. This girl can sing. And I guess if you squint from very, very far away, she can pass as Snow White. Other than the skin as white as snow part. That was one of the big controversies. Everybody was bitching and moaning about that, including me in the beginning. This movie justifies it by saying that she's named Snow White because she was born on a snowy day. Okay, fine movie. At least you addressed it. At least you justify it. That's fine. They did the same thing with calling her the fairest of them all. I may be biased because I think Gal Gadot is the prettiest actress. I'm blinded by her. Like, I would want to be the mirror, so she's just looking at me the whole time. So I can't believe this Snow White is fairer than this queen. But this is also justified. And I kind of took it as like a shot to Rachel Zeigler a little bit. Like, oh no, we have to justify that you're actually not as pretty as Gal Gadot, but whatever. It really felt like it was addressing the memes. So even though it came really, really late in the movie, I appreciated it. Whether it's right, whether it's wrong, that's for you to determine. It's just justified. Now, as far as the performance goes, Zeigler did all right. They gave her a little bit more of a backstory, but sometimes she would do things that didn't necessarily feel like Snow things to me, like Snow White actions to me. But this is a different Snow, so I had to check myself really quick. This one is the bravest, the bestest, the strongest, or the smartest, or whatever the hell she says. They did eventually turn her into a flawless heroine, which a lot of these movies end up doing. As far as my wife goes, this hurts to say. Again, I love her. She's the most gorgeous actress to me. I'm sorry. But I don't think she's a good enough actress to convince me that she's evil. There were a lot of moments in the movie that I just simply didn't buy what she was trying to sell. She doesn't have the chops to play a really despicable, horrible witch, which is really what this character needs to counter the Snow character. Instead, at times I felt like I was watching an SNL skit. Again, I love her so much, and this is really the nicest thing I could say about her performance, and I feel terrible about it. It hurts my soul. I did not like her when she eventually did turn into the old witch lady either. It was missing something. She doesn't have like a witch nose. She's not gross enough. Like, honestly, she could have still got it as an old lady.
Rub it on your face and go.
She also gets a song this time around, and Gal isn't known as a singer, so again, much as I love her, I'm not particularly sure why she's cast. Maybe just because of her looks? This role needed a little bit more than that. If it was up to me, I would have cast Anne Hathaway. She has the acting chops, she can sing her ass off, she's beautiful. Like, she would have been perfect for that role. I feel like they fumbled that there. But one thing I really did like about the queen was how they dealt with her in the end. In the original, it's a little bit random. Like, she's kind of fighting with the dwarves, and then all of a sudden just like a lightning strikes and she falls and dies. Here, there's a little bit more to it. It makes a little bit more sense. It's a little bit more brutal. And I like that change. That was one of the only changes that I did enjoy, along, with adding those lyrics to the classic music. I like that change. I found that to be even better than how it was dealt in the original. And I believe that their intentions with these changes were to make it better. I just don't believe that all of them were. Some of them are. There's just too many changes that it might have certain people who want it to be a one-to-one remake to feel a type of way about it. But again, it's not a bad movie. It's not the worst Disney remake. That still belongs to Lady and the Tramp and Peter Pan and Wendy. But I felt like this movie needed to be the best remake to try to overcome the controversies, because there's just so many. The biggest one for me being Rachel Zegler's mouth. Proving even more what I've said in past reviews, that actor interviews hurt Disney more than they actually help them. Even looking back at what she said one of the first times that she pissed off the internet, she was technically right. It is a bit weird for a stalker just to walking around the woods and kiss a random lady, but the way she says it just feels super condescending and disrespectful to the source material.
The original cartoon came out in 1937, and very evidently so. There's a big focus on her love story. With a guy who literally stalks her.
Yeah.
Weird.
Super weird.
So we didn't do that this time.
And the way it comes off, it makes you think like they're gonna get rid of the whole true love's kiss thing. Spoiler alert, they didn't. So now she looks like a fool.
Wait a minute.
She's talking about, it's a bit weird. Well, they did it anyway. They did one of the weird things. He kisses a dead girl. You get these actors, you ask them questions about source material that they probably don't know or don't care or don't have the respect for, especially when it comes to Marvel and Star Wars. They ask them a question and they say something stupid, and now you're like, what the hell? Now you're going in thinking something totally different because of what one actor says. And because they come off as they come off, it goes viral. And everybody who saw that goes in with that in mind as they go and watch these movies. And I think it just does them no good to have these pressers with these actors talking about the movie. Do me a favor. Show me one time at a press junket or an interview that you saw, right? And because of that press junket interview, you decided to watch the movie. Go ahead, write it down in the comments. I have never, ever, ever made the decision to watch a movie because of what an actor said in an interview. Many people have probably made the decision not to see it after an interview. And there have been cool moments, like Jim Carrey turning his face into the Grinch. That was cool. But as cool as that was, that didn't make me want to go see Sonic. I was going to go see Sonic regardless. I don't know if you noticed, but I'm kind of grumpy.
Wait a minute.
But those are my 33-year-old grown-ass man thoughts. Let me know yours down in the comments. Did you see it? Why? Why not? What'd you like about it? What'd you hate about it? Any and all thoughts, let them fly down in the comments. And when you're down there, make sure you hit like and subscribe to the channel. That would really help me out. Thank you guys for watching. Remember to always and forever, you do you.